Have you ever noticed how monks seem to radiate health and vitality well into their advanced years? What secrets lie within the walls of monastery kitchens that keep these devoted practitioners remarkably free from illness? Could the ancient wisdom of Zen cooking actually hold the key to extraordinary health and longevity? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something truly extraordinary: the hidden rules of the Zen kitchen and how they create a foundation for optimal health. For centuries, Buddhist monks have maintained a way of preparing and consuming food that goes far beyond simple nutrition. It's a sacred practice, a form of meditation in motion, and perhaps most importantly, a powerful system for maintaining perfect health. While the modern world struggles with countless health issues and chronic diseases, monks continue to thrive, living long lives filled with energy and clarity. The secret isn't just what they eat, but how they approach every single aspect of food and nourishment. This journey we're about to take together isn't just another discussion about healthy eating. It's an exploration of a complete philosophy that transforms the kitchen into a healing sanctuary and every meal into medicine for both body and soul. These aren't trendy diet tips that will fade away next year. These are time-tested principles that have kept generations of monks healthy, energized and disease-free for over 2,000 years. What makes the Zen kitchen so special? It's the intersection of mindfulness, ancient nutritional wisdom, and a deep respect for the healing power of food. Every ingredient is chosen with intention. Every preparation method serves a purpose. Every meal becomes an opportunity for healing and transformation. When we understand these principles, we don't just learn about monks' diets. We discover a roadmap to reclaiming our own health in the most natural way possible. The beauty of these Zen kitchen rules is their simplicity and accessibility. You don't need expensive supplements, complicated meal plans, or exotic ingredients. What you need is a shift in perspective, an understanding of timeless principles, and the willingness to bring mindfulness into your daily relationship with food. These practices are as relevant today as they were centuries ago, perhaps even more so in our fast-paced, processed, food-filled modern world. As we explore each of the 8 hidden rules, you'll discover practical wisdom that you can implement immediately. These aren't abstract concepts confined to monastery walls. They're actionable principles that can transform your kitchen, your meals, and ultimately your health. From the way monks select ingredients to how they prepare food, from their eating rituals to their understanding of food energetics, each rule offers profound insights into achieving optimal wellness. We encourage you to watch this entire video because each rule builds upon the previous one, creating a complete system of health and vitality. Missing even one piece could mean missing a crucial element of the bigger picture. These 8 rules work together synergistically, much like ingredients in a perfectly balanced recipe, to create extraordinary results. If you find value in what we share today, please show your support by clicking the like button and subscribing to our Wisdom in Real Life channel. By subscribing, you're not just helping us create more transformative content like this, you're joining a community of seekers dedicated to living healthier, more mindful lives. You'll receive updates on powerful practices, ancient wisdom made practical, and insights that can genuinely change your relationship with health and wellness. Are you ready to discover why monks never get sick? Ready to unlock the secrets that have been hiding in plain sight within monastery kitchens for generations? This journey promises to be enlightening, practical, and potentially life-changing. Each rule we reveal is a step toward understanding how true health isn't found in a pill bottle or the latest superfood trend, but in the timeless wisdom of conscious, mindful nourishment. Let's begin this remarkable exploration together. Rule number 1. Treat ingredients like your own eyes. The teaching. No hierarchy in ingredients. The first rule of the Zen kitchen challenges everything modern culture teaches us about food. In our world, we've created elaborate hierarchies. Expensive ingredients are superior to cheap ones, exotic foods are more valuable than common ones, and certain items receive celebrity status while others are dismissed as ordinary. The Zen kitchen rejects all of this completely. Here, every ingredient deserves equal respect and attention, from the most prized mushroom to the humblest vegetable scrap. This principle might seem simple on the surface, but it represents a radical shift in consciousness. When monks say to treat ingredients like your own eyes, they're instructing us to handle food with the same care and protection we give to the most vulnerable parts of our own body. Your eyes are precious, irreplaceable, and worthy of gentle treatment. Every carrot, grain of rice, and piece of ginger deserves this same quality of attention. This isn't sentimentality, it's practical wisdom that directly impacts the food's nutritional value and healing properties. The teaching emerges from a deep understanding that all food carries life force. A simple potato nourished by soil, sun, and water contains remarkable complexity and nutrition. The farmers who grew it invested their energy and time. The earth gave its minerals and nutrients. When we handle that potato carelessly, tossing it around or letting it bruise and rot, we disrespect not just the vegetable but the entire chain of life that brought it to us. Conversely, when we treat it with care, we honor all those contributions and preserve the potato's ability to nourish us fully. Master Dogen's words and context. In the Tenzo Kyokun, Master Dogen provided explicit guidance on this principle. He wrote that the cook should handle even a single leaf of a green vegetable in such a way as to manifest the body of the Buddha. This poetic instruction carried practical meaning. Treat every ingredient as sacred, as deserving of your complete attention and utmost care. He observed that many cooks would be meticulous with expensive or prized ingredients while being careless with common ones, and he identified this as a fundamental error. Dogen emphasized that the quality of food isn't determined by its cost or rarity, but by how it's treated. He wrote about watching a senior cook carefully washing rice, examining each grain with focused attention, removing any stones or imperfect grains with the same care one might use when handling jewels. This wasn't performance or ritual, it was the recognition that this rice would become the body and energy of the monks who consumed it. Contaminated or poorly prepared food, regardless of how expensive, fails in its essential purpose. The historical context makes this teaching even more powerful. Dogen lived in 13th century Japan, where monastery resources were often limited. Monks couldn't afford to waste anything, and they certainly couldn't purchase expensive replacements if food spoiled due to carelessness. This economic reality merged with spiritual understanding to create a practice of reverence that served both practical and philosophical purposes. Every ingredient mattered because resources were precious, and every ingredient deserved respect because life itself is precious. Practical application in monastery kitchens. Walk into a Zen monastery kitchen and you'll witness this principle in action at every moment. When a monk washes vegetables, each one receives individual attention. They examine leaves for insects or damage, removing anything that might compromise the food's quality. They trim away only what's truly inedible, saving stems, peels, and cores that contain valuable nutrients. Nothing is handled roughly or tossed carelessly onto counters. Everything moves with deliberate, gentle precision. The way monks store ingredients reflects this same care. Root vegetables are kept in cool, dark places with proper ventilation to prevent spoilage. Grains are stored in airtight containers protected from moisture and pests. Fermented foods are monitored regularly to ensure proper development. This attention to storage prevents waste and preserves nutritional value, but more importantly, it demonstrates ongoing care for the food even when it's not being actively prepared. Perhaps most instructive is how monks treat food scraps and parts most people would discard. Vegetable peels become the base for healing broths. Wilted greens are transformed into pickles. Rice washing water nourishes plants or cleans cookware. Carrot tops become flavorful additions to soups. This resourcefulness stems directly from viewing every part of every ingredient as valuable and worthy of consideration. There's no such thing as waste in the Zen kitchen, only opportunities to extract maximum nourishment and utility from what you have. When cutting vegetables, monks maintain their knives with meticulous care, ensuring clean, sharp cuts that minimize cellular damage to the food. They understand that ragged cuts from dull blades crush plant cells, causing nutrient loss and faster spoilage. Their cutting boards are kept impeccably clean, and are positioned to allow comfortable, controlled movements. Even the angle and pressure of each cut receives attention. This isn't obsessive perfectionism, it's the natural result of treating ingredients with the reverence they deserve. Health benefit breakdown. The health advantages of treating ingredients like your own eyes are both immediate and long-term. First and most obviously, this careful attention prevents food contamination. When you examine each ingredient closely, you spot mold, decay, insect damage and other issues before they make it into your meals. Studies show that most cases of food poisoning in home kitchens result from using compromised ingredients that weren't properly inspected. Monk's meticulous examination of every item virtually eliminates this risk. Careful handling also preserves nutritional value. When produce is bruised, dropped or stored improperly, enzymatic reactions begin breaking down vitamins and phytonutrients. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that rough handling of leafy greens can reduce vitamin C content by up to 30% within hours. Gentle, respectful treatment maintains the structural integrity of plant cells, preserving their nutritional cargo until consumption. This principle promotes what nutritionists call food awareness, a comprehensive understanding of what you're eating. When you handle each ingredient with attention, you naturally become more knowledgeable about food quality, seasonality, and proper storage. This awareness leads to better choices at every decision point. You select more nutritious options, combine foods more intelligently, and prepare them in ways that maximize their health benefits. Over time, this accumulated wisdom becomes your greatest asset for maintaining wellness. Modern science validates ancient wisdom. Contemporary research is now confirming what Zen monks have practiced for centuries. A study at the University of Minnesota examined the effects of mindful food preparation on both the preparer and the consumers. They found that when cooks approached their work with focused attention and positive intention, the resulting meals were rated as more satisfying and nourishing by those who ate them, even when the recipes and ingredients were identical to meals prepared in a rushed, distracted manner. Neuroscience research helps explain this phenomenon. When we handle food with care and attention, our brains release oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. This chemical doesn't just make us feel good, it actually enhances our ability to perceive flavors and signals our digestive system to prepare for optimal nutrient absorption. The act of reverent preparation literally primes our bodies to extract maximum nourishment from what we eat. Microbiological studies have revealed another fascinating dimension. The skin of our hands carries diverse bacterial colonies, and the emotional state we're in influences which bacteria predominate at any given moment. Stress increases harmful bacteria, while calm, positive states support beneficial ones. When food is handled with reverence rather than stress or indifference, it's exposed to a healthier microbial environment. While this might sound unusual, remember that fermentation, one of humanity's oldest food preparation methods, relies entirely on beneficial bacteria transforming ingredients into more nutritious forms. Rule number 2. The single drop rule. Zero waste. The teaching, absolute zero waste philosophy. In the Zen kitchen, there's a saying that perfectly encapsulates the second rule. Not even a single drop of water should be wasted. This isn't about being stingy or overly frugal. It's a profound recognition that everything has value, everything serves a purpose, and nothing should be carelessly discarded. When monks talk about zero waste, they mean it absolutely. What most modern kitchens throw away, monastery kitchens transform into nourishment, medicine, or enrichment for the soil. This philosophy challenges the throwaway culture that dominates contemporary life. The average household discards nearly 1/3 of the food it purchases. Peels, stems, cores, wilted leaves, cooking water, and countless other components end up in trash bins every single day. We've been conditioned to see these items as garbage, as worthless byproducts of meal preparation. The Zen kitchen reveals a radically different truth. These so-called waste products often contain more concentrated nutrition than the parts we typically eat. The single drop rule operates on multiple levels simultaneously. On the practical level, it ensures maximum nutritional extraction from every ingredient. On the economic level, It makes resources stretch further, reducing costs while increasing value. On the spiritual level, it cultivates gratitude and awareness of interconnection. On the environmental level, it minimizes the monastery's impact on the earth. All of these benefits emerge from one simple commitment: waste nothing. The rice water ritual, perhaps no practice better illustrates the single drop rule than the monastery's relationship with rice water. In Western kitchens, the cloudy water from rinsing rice flows straight down the drain without a second thought. In Zen monasteries, this water is carefully collected and used for multiple purposes, each one demonstrating resourcefulness and wisdom. First, rice water serves as a nourishing drink. The starchy liquid contains vitamins, minerals, and beneficial compounds released from the rice grains during washing. Monks have long consumed this water, recognizing it as a gentle tonic that supports digestion and provides energy. Modern research has confirmed that rice water contains B vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals like magnesium and phosphorus. What we thoughtlessly discard, monks intentionally consume for health. Rice water also becomes a cooking liquid. When preparing vegetables or legumes, monks often use rice water instead of plain water, adding subtle flavor and nutritional value to the dish. The starches in rice water create a silky texture in soups and stews, while contributing beneficial compounds to the meal. This simple substitution transforms an otherwise wasted resource into a culinary enhancement. Beyond consumption, rice water serves practical purposes throughout the monastery. It cleans dishes and cookware effectively, its mild abrasiveness and natural surfactants cutting through grease without harsh chemicals. It nourishes plants in the monastery garden, providing nutrients that support healthy growth. It's even used for skin care and hair care, as the vitamins and minerals benefit skin and hair health. One ingredient, rice, produces not just food but multiple useful byproducts when handled with awareness and intention. Historical context, scarcity and wisdom. The zero-waste philosophy of Zen kitchens didn't emerge from abstract idealism. It developed from genuine necessity, particularly in Japan during periods of scarcity. After World War II, Japanese monasteries, like the rest of the country, faced severe food shortages. Nothing could be wasted because there wasn't enough to waste. This economic reality intensified an already existing spiritual principle, creating practices refined by both necessity and mindfulness. Monks during this period became extraordinarily creative in extracting maximum value from minimal resources. They developed techniques for preserving every edible part of vegetables, creating flavorful dishes from items others would reject. They perfected fermentation methods that transformed simple ingredients into nutritionally enhanced foods that could be stored for months. They learned which wild plants could supplement their diet and how to harvest them sustainably. What's remarkable is that as prosperity returned and food became more abundant, monasteries didn't abandon these practices. They recognized that the zero-waste approach wasn't just about surviving scarcity, it was about living wisely regardless of circumstances. The techniques developed during hardship revealed fundamental truths about food and nourishment that remained valid in times of plenty. Modern monks continue these practices not because they must, but because they understand the profound benefits. This historical context offers important lessons for our current moment. We live in a time of apparent abundance, with supermarkets overflowing with options. Yet this abundance is deceptive and unsustainable. The practices monks developed during scarcity, using every part of every ingredient, wasting nothing, represent not a return to hardship, but an evolution toward wisdom. They show us how to live well while treading lightly on the earth. Complete vegetable utilization. Walk through a Zen kitchen during meal preparation, and you'll witness complete vegetable utilization in action. When monks prepare carrots, they save the green tops to make pesto or add to soups. The peels, rich in fiber and nutrients, are either left on for cooking or saved for making broth. Even the tiny bits trimmed from the ends go into the compost or broth bag rather than the trash. Nothing is automatic waste. Everything receives consideration for potential use. Root-to-stem cooking techniques maximize the edible portions of vegetables. Broccoli stems, often discarded, contain the same nutrients as the florets and add satisfying crunch when properly prepared. Swiss chard stems make excellent pickles. Cauliflower leaves are delicious roasted. Radish greens are more nutritious than the roots themselves, containing higher concentrations of vitamins and minerals. Monks have always known what nutritionists are now confirming. The parts we throw away often surpass the parts we eat in nutritional value. Peel preservation represents another crucial technique. Many vegetables concentrate their nutrients just beneath the skin, precisely where most people remove and discard them. When monks do peel vegetables, which they do only when necessary, those peels are dried and ground into powders that add nutrition and flavor to future dishes. Citrus peels become zest that brightens meals for weeks. Ginger and turmeric peels are saved for healing teas. Onion skins go into the stock pot, releasing quercetin and adding golden color to broths. Composting in the monastery isn't just disposal, it's a sacred duty. The small amount of truly inedible material, like tough corn husks or nutshells, returns to the earth through careful composting. Monks maintain compost systems with the same attention they give to food preparation, ensuring proper decomposition that creates rich soil for the garden. This closes the loop, transforming the only genuine waste into nourishment for future crops. Even in death, ingredients continue serving life. Health benefits of zero-waste eating. The nutritional advantages of eating parts typically discarded are substantial and scientifically documented. Vegetable peels contain significantly higher concentrations of fiber than the flesh. Potato peels, for instance, have nearly 5 times more fiber than peeled potatoes. This fiber supports digestive health, feeds beneficial gut bacteria, stabilizes blood sugar, and promotes feelings of fullness that prevent overeating. By discarding peels, we're throwing away one of food's most valuable health components. Phytonutrients, the plant compounds that protect against disease and support optimal health, concentrate in peels, stems, and leaves. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that apple peels contain up to 6 times more phytonutrients than the flesh. Carrot peels have double the antioxidants of peeled carrots. Cucumber peels contain nearly all of the vegetable's vitamin K and much of its fiber. The pattern repeats across virtually all produce. The parts we discard hold the most potent health-promoting compounds. Nutritional comparison studies reveal striking differences between whole food consumption and the standard practice of eating only certain parts. A study at Purdue University analyzed the complete nutritional profile of vegetables when consumed entirely versus when prepared in typical ways with waste. They found that complete utilization increased fiber intake by an average of 40%, boosted antioxidant consumption by 35%, and enhanced overall mineral intake by 25%. These aren't marginal gains, they're transformative improvements achieved simply by eating what we already purchase. The zero-waste approach also protects against nutrient deficiencies. Modern diets tend to be deficient in several key nutrients, particularly magnesium, potassium, and certain B vitamins. These deficiencies contribute to widespread health issues including fatigue, poor sleep, and compromised immune function. Interestingly, the parts of vegetables most people discard, stems, peels, and outer leaves, contain concentrated amounts of precisely these commonly deficient nutrients. Complete vegetable utilization naturally corrects dietary inadequacies. Rule number 3, see the pot as your own head. The teaching, a profound metaphor. Master Dogen's instruction on cookware remains one of the most striking teachings in the Tenzo Kyokun. He wrote, "See the pot as your own head, see the water as your lifeblood." At first encounter, this metaphor might seem extreme or poetic exaggeration. Why would anyone view a cooking pot with the same care they reserve for their own head? Yet, this teaching contains practical wisdom that directly impacts both food quality and personal well-being. When monks are instructed to see the pot as their own head, they're being told that cookware deserves the same protection, cleanliness, and respect they give to their own body. You wouldn't carelessly bang your head against walls or leave it dirty and neglected. Similarly, cooking vessels shouldn't be treated roughly, stored carelessly, or cleaned inadequately. This parallel teaches that our tools are extensions of ourselves, and how we treat them reflects how we treat our own being. The second part of the teaching, seeing water as lifeblood, reinforces this connection. Blood carries nutrients, oxygen, and life force throughout our body. Water in cooking performs a similar function, carrying flavors, nutrients, and transformative heat throughout the food. When water is seen as precious lifeblood rather than an unlimited resource to be wasted, every drop matters. The quality of water we use for cooking directly becomes part of the food we consume, just as our blood becomes part of every cell in our body. This teaching operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Practically, it ensures proper tool maintenance that preserves food quality and prevents contamination. Psychologically, it cultivates mindfulness and care in all actions. Spiritually, it dissolves the artificial boundary between self and environment, revealing the deep interconnection between us and everything we interact with. A well-maintained kitchen becomes an extension of a well-maintained self. Tool respect in daily practice. In Zen monasteries, tool care is never an afterthought or rushed obligation. It's integrated into daily practice with the same attention given to preparation and cooking. After each meal service, monks engage in thorough cleaning rituals that go far beyond simply removing food residue. Every pot, pan, utensil, and surface receives careful attention. This isn't about perfectionism or obsessive cleanliness. It's about maintaining the tools that nourish the community and honoring the role these implements play in sustaining life. The daily cleaning ritual follows specific sequences designed to be both thorough and meditative. Monks begin by rinsing all tools with appropriate temperature water, removing loose debris without wasting resources. They then wash each item individually, paying attention to every surface, crevice, and handle. Pots are scrubbed inside and out, lids are cleaned on both sides, and utensils are examined to ensure no food particles remain. This careful attention prevents bacterial growth and ensures that each tool is ready for its next use. Knife sharpening represents a particularly important practice in the Zen kitchen. Monks don't wait until knives become dangerously dull before addressing them. Instead, sharpening becomes a regular meditation, typically performed weekly or even daily depending on usage. The act of drawing a blade across a whetstone requires focused attention, proper angle maintenance, and patience. This practice keeps knives performing optimally while providing an opportunity for the cook to settle their mind and cultivate concentration. Proper storage protocols ensure tools remain in excellent condition between uses. Knives are stored in blocks or on magnetic strips, where blades don't contact other surfaces. Pots nest carefully without scratching. Wooden implements are kept away from excessive moisture. Cast iron receives its protective oil coating. Every tool has its designated place, making the kitchen organized and efficient while preventing damage from careless stacking or storage. This order in the external environment supports order in the mind. The philosophy of interconnection. The instruction to see the pot as your own head reveals a profound truth about the nature of self and environment. In Buddhist philosophy, the boundary between self and other is seen as conceptual rather than absolute. We exist in constant exchange with our environment, breathing air that becomes part of our body, eating food that literally becomes our cells, using tools that enable our actions. Where exactly does self end and other begin? When a monk treats a cooking pot with the same care given to their own head, they're practicing non-separation. The pot isn't separate from the cook. It's an extension of the cook's capacity to nourish others. The knife isn't separate from the hand. It's an extension of the hand's ability to transform ingredients. This recognition dissolves the careless attitude that treats objects as disposable or unworthy of respect. Everything deserves care because everything is interconnected with everything else. This philosophy has immediate practical implications. When you see tools as extensions of yourself, you naturally treat them better. You clean thoroughly because you wouldn't leave part of yourself dirty. You sharpen carefully because you wouldn't allow part of yourself to become ineffective. You store properly because you wouldn't leave part of yourself in harmful conditions. The result is a kitchen where every tool functions optimally and safely. The extension of self-principle also transforms the relationship between cook and kitchen. Rather than viewing cooking as a chore performed with external tools in a separate space, it becomes a holistic activity where cook, tools, ingredients, and environment merge into a unified process. This shift in perspective reduces stress, increases engagement, and makes cooking more satisfying and meditative. The kitchen becomes not a place you work, but an extension of your being. Health benefits of tool care. The health advantages of maintaining tools like your own body are substantial and measurable. Clean cookware dramatically reduces exposure to harmful bacteria, molds, and other pathogens that cause foodborne illness. Research from food safety laboratories shows that improperly cleaned pots, cutting boards, and utensils harbor dangerous microorganisms even when they appear clean. Residual food particles in crevices, scratches in plastic surfaces, and inadequately dried implements create perfect environments for bacterial growth. Thorough cleaning prevents these health risks. Proper tool maintenance directly impacts food preparation quality. A sharp knife makes clean cuts that preserve cellular structure in vegetables, maintaining nutritional value and preventing premature spoilage. Dull knives crush and tear, damaging cells and accelerating oxidation that destroys vitamins. Well-maintained pots with intact surfaces cook more evenly, preventing hot spots that create carcinogens or nutrient-destroying temperature extremes. The condition of your tools literally determines the nutritional value of your meals. Mental clarity through kitchen order represents another significant health benefit. Studies in environmental psychology have consistently found that organized, clean environments reduce stress and improve cognitive function. When your kitchen is orderly, with every tool properly maintained and in its place, meal preparation becomes smoother and less stressful. This reduced stress affects digestion, as the parasympathetic nervous system must be engaged for optimal nutrient absorption. A chaotic kitchen creates internal chaos. An orderly kitchen supports internal calm. The mindfulness cultivated through careful tool treatment extends into all areas of life. When you practice paying attention to cleaning a pot thoroughly, you strengthen your capacity for attention generally. When you engage in the focused practice of knife sharpening, you develop concentration that serves you in every activity. These aren't separate skills. They're expressions of an integrated capacity for present moment awareness that enhances overall well-being. Rule number 4, the rule of 5, colors, flavors, the teaching. A complete system of nourishment. The rule of 5 represents one of the most sophisticated yet practical nutritional frameworks ever developed. Zen monks structure every meal around 5 colors and 5 flavors, ensuring comprehensive nourishment through natural variety. This isn't arbitrary tradition or aesthetic preference. It's a systematic approach to nutrition that guarantees balanced intake of vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, and flavor compounds that signal satisfaction to our bodies and minds. When a monk plans a meal, they visualize the 5 colors appearing on the plate: green, yellow, red, black or purple, and white. Each color indicates specific nutrients and health benefits. They then consider the 5 flavors: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. Each flavor activates different taste receptors, stimulates different organs, and provides different nutritional signals to the body. Together, these elements create meals that are not just balanced on paper, but genuinely nourishing at every level. This system emerged from centuries of observation and refinement. Monks noticed that meals containing diverse colors and flavors left them feeling more satisfied and energized. They observed that variety prevented deficiencies and maintained consistent health. Modern nutritional science now confirms what these practitioners discovered through experience. Dietary diversity is perhaps the single most important factor in optimal nutrition, more important than any individual superfood or supplement. Historical roots in Chinese medicine. The rule of 5 traces its origins to traditional Chinese medicine, which deeply influenced Zen Buddhism as it spread from India through China to Japan. Chinese medicine categorizes foods by color, flavor, temperature, and their effects on specific organs and systems. This holistic framework views food as medicine, with each meal serving as an opportunity to balance the body and support health. In Chinese medical theory, the 5 colors correspond to 5 elements and 5 organ systems. Green foods support the liver and gallbladder. Red foods nourish the heart and small intestine. Yellow foods strengthen the spleen and stomach. White foods benefit the lungs and large intestine. Black foods support the kidneys and bladder. While Zen practice doesn't emphasize these specific organ correspondences as strongly as Chinese medicine does, the principle of color diversity, ensuring comprehensive nutrition, remains central. The 5 flavors also carry specific functions in Chinese medicine. Sweet flavors provide energy and tonify the body. Sour flavors are astringent and consolidating. Salty flavors soften and descend. Bitter flavors dry and clear. This understanding helped monks create meals that didn't just provide nutrients, but actively supported bodily functions and maintained internal balance. The wisdom accumulated over thousands of years became practical guidance for daily nourishment. Breaking down the 5 colors, green foods form the foundation of the Zen diet, appearing at almost every meal. These foods, leafy vegetables, herbs, green beans, edamame, contain chlorophyll, the molecule that captures light energy in plants. Chlorophyll supports detoxification, binds to toxins and heavy metals, helping remove them from the body. Green vegetables are also rich in folate, vitamin K, magnesium and fiber. They support liver function, promote healthy blood, and provide the building blocks for numerous bodily processes. In the monastery, every meal includes at least one green element, ensuring consistent access to these vital nutrients. Yellow and orange foods bring carotenoids, powerful antioxidants that support immunity and protect against disease. Sweet potatoes, winter squash, carrots, and yellow bell peppers contain beta-carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A as needed. This nutrient supports vision, immune function, skin health, and cellular communication. Yellow foods also tend to be rich in vitamin C and flavonoids. Monks ensure these bright, warming colors appear regularly, especially during fall and winter when immunity needs extra support. Red foods provide lycopene and other potent antioxidants that specifically support cardiovascular health. Tomatoes, red bell peppers, and red cabbage contain compounds that reduce inflammation, protect blood vessels, and support heart function. Red foods are also rich in vitamin C and various polyphenols. In monastery meals, red foods appear frequently, providing both nutritional benefits and visual vibrancy that makes meals more appealing and satisfying. Black and purple foods contain anthocyanins, perhaps the most powerful anti-aging compounds found in food. Black rice, black sesame seeds, eggplant, purple cabbage, and seaweed provide these deep-colored phytonutrients that protect against cellular damage, support brain health, and maintain youthful function throughout the body. Research suggests anthocyanins may be particularly important for cognitive health and longevity. Monks incorporate these darker foods regularly, understanding that their concentrated color indicates concentrated nutrition. White foods, including daikon radish, turnips, cauliflower, and mushrooms, might seem less exciting than their colorful counterparts, but they provide essential nutrients and unique health benefits. Many white vegetables contain compounds that support digestive health and maintain healthy gut bacteria. White mushrooms provide vitamin D and immune-supporting polysaccharides. Daikon and other white radishes contain enzymes that aid digestion. The inclusion of white ensures meals aren't missing crucial nutritional components that happen to lack bright pigmentation. Breaking down the 5 flavors, sweet flavors provide energy and create feelings of satisfaction and grounding. In the Zen kitchen, sweet doesn't mean sugary desserts. It refers to the natural sweetness of whole grains, root vegetables, and certain fruits. This sweetness comes from complex carbohydrates that release energy steadily rather than spiking blood sugar. Sweet flavors signal to the body that energy is available, helping regulate metabolism and providing fuel for activity and healing. Every meal includes some element of natural sweetness, ensuring adequate energy without relying on refined sugars. Sour flavors stimulate digestion and provide vitamin C and other organic acids that support numerous bodily functions. Fermented foods, citrus, and pickled vegetables deliver this essential taste. Sourness stimulates saliva production and digestive enzyme release, preparing the body to efficiently process food. In traditional understanding, sour flavors also support the liver and help the body consolidate and preserve energy rather than dispersing it wastefully. Monks include sour elements regularly, both for their health benefits and because they create interest and complexity in simple meals. Salty flavors provide essential minerals and electrolytes necessary for every cellular process. However, the salt in Zen cooking comes primarily from naturally salty foods like seaweed, miso, and traditionally fermented products rather than added table salt. These whole food sources provide sodium along with numerous other minerals, creating balanced mineral intake. Salt also helps extract flavors from other ingredients and aids in the absorption of certain nutrients. Proper salt balance is crucial. Too little impairs function, too much creates problems, and natural sources help achieve this balance. Bitter flavors stimulate detoxification and help control appetite by signaling satisfaction. Dark leafy greens, certain herbs and tea provide bitterness that many modern palates have lost appreciation for. Bitter compounds stimulate bile production, supporting fat digestion and the elimination of toxins. They also activate receptors that signal fullness, helping prevent overeating. While bitter is perhaps the least popular flavor in modern cuisine, it's essential for optimal health. Monks include bitter elements in most meals, training their palates to appreciate rather than avoid this important taste. Umami, the savory fifth flavor, provides deep satisfaction and signals the presence of protein and amino acids. Mushrooms, seaweed, fermented foods, and long-cooked vegetables develop umami naturally. This flavor activates specific taste receptors that indicate nutritional density, making meals feel complete and satisfying without animal products. Umami is crucial in plant-based cooking because it provides the savory depth that makes vegetarian meals feel substantial rather than lacking. Understanding and utilizing umami allows monks to create deeply satisfying meals from simple plant ingredients. The balance principle, the genius of the rule of 5, lies not in any individual color or flavor, but in their combination. Each element provides different nutrients, supports different functions, and activates different physiological responses. Together, they create comprehensive nutrition that no single food or limited selection could provide. This principle of balance through variety represents fundamental wisdom about human nutrition. Variety matters because our bodies require dozens of different vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients to function optimally. No single food contains everything we need. A meal with all 5 colors and flavors naturally provides a broader spectrum of nutrients than a meal with limited diversity. This approach prevents the deficiencies that plague restrictive diets while ensuring we receive adequate amounts of both well-known nutrients and the thousands of beneficial compounds scientists are still discovering in hot foods. Balance also prevents the problems that arise from overconsuming any single food or nutrient. Some nutrients compete for absorption. Excessive amounts of one can block uptake of others. Some compounds are beneficial in moderate amounts, but problematic in excess. By naturally varying foods across colors and flavors, monks avoid these imbalances without requiring detailed nutritional knowledge. The system creates balance automatically through diversity. The satisfaction principle represents another crucial aspect of balance. Meals that include all 5 flavors feel complete. Your palate doesn't crave additional tastes because all basic flavor categories have been satisfied. This natural satiation prevents overeating and reduces cravings for unhealthy foods. When your body receives the full spectrum of flavors at each meal, it doesn't send signals demanding additional food to obtain missing taste experiences. Health benefits of the rule of 5. Following the rule of 5 automatically ensures complete vitamin spectrum coverage. Green foods provide folate and Vitamin K yellow foods supply carotenoids that convert to vitamin A. Red foods offer vitamin C. Black foods contribute B vitamins. White foods provide various nutrients including vitamin D from mushrooms. No single color provides all vitamins, but the combination does. This natural completeness eliminates the need for most supplements when the diet includes consistent color diversity. Antioxidant diversity represents another major benefit. Different colored foods contain different antioxidants, each protecting against specific types of cellular damage. Chlorophyll from greens, carotenoids from yellow foods, lycopene from red foods, anthocyanins from purple foods, they all offer unique protective effects. Research shows that antioxidants work synergistically, meaning the combination provides greater protection than any single antioxidant in isolation. The five-color system delivers this synergistic protection naturally. The gut microbiome thrives on dietary diversity. Different beneficial bacteria species prefer different plant compounds. A diet with varied colors and flavors provides food for numerous bacterial species, supporting a diverse, resilient microbiome. This microbial diversity influences everything from immune function to mental health to disease resistance. Studies consistently show that people who eat the most diverse plant-based diets have the healthiest, most diverse microbiomes. The rule of 5 practically guarantees this beneficial diversity. Natural nutrient synergy creates another layer of health benefits. Certain nutrients enhance the absorption or effectiveness of others. Vitamin C improves iron absorption. Healthy fats enable carotenoid absorption. Various phytonutrients work together to provide greater benefits than they would individually. When you eat complete meals with all 5 colors and flavors, you automatically create these synergistic combinations without needing detailed nutritional knowledge. The wisdom is built into the system. Rule number 5. Cook with 3 minds. Sanshin. The teaching. 3 essential attitudes. Among Master Dogen's most profound teachings is the concept of Sanshin, the 3 minds that should guide every cook. These aren't techniques or recipes, but states of consciousness that transform cooking from mechanical task into healing practice. The 3 minds are Kishin, the joyful mind, Roshin, the parental or nurturing mind, and Daishin, the magnanimous or great mind. When these 3 attitudes combine in the kitchen, something remarkable happens. Food becomes more than nutrition. It becomes medicine, comfort, and love made tangible. Most people approach cooking with very different mental states: obligation, resentment, distraction, anxiety, or mere habit. These attitudes create stress for the cook and, research now suggests, actually diminish the nutritional value and healing potential of the food prepared. The 3 minds teaching offers an alternative, a way to approach food preparation that benefits both the cook and those who will eat the meal. This isn't mystical thinking, it's practical psychology that improves outcomes at every level. The beauty of this teaching is that it doesn't require you to feel these attitudes perfectly before beginning to cook. Rather, by intentionally cultivating these 3 minds, you gradually develop them. The practice itself creates the result. Over time, cooking with the 3 minds becomes natural, transforming your relationship with food preparation from something you must do into something you genuinely want to do. Historical context. Dogen's detailed instruction. In the Tenzo Kyokun, Master Dogen devoted significant attention to explaining these 3 minds, recognizing them as fundamental to the cook's role in monastery life. He understood that the person preparing food shaped the community's health, energy, and even spiritual development through both what they cooked and how they cooked it. Technical skill mattered, but the consciousness brought to the task mattered even more. Dogen wrote, during a time when kitchen duty was sometimes viewed as inferior to other monastery roles, particularly meditation practice. Monks assigned to the kitchen occasionally felt they were missing important training opportunities. Dogen directly challenged this attitude, teaching that cooking with the proper minds was itself profound practice, equal to any other form of training. The kitchen could be a meditation hall, the cutting board and altar, if approached with the right consciousness. His detailed instructions on the three minds weren't philosophical abstractions, but practical guidance for daily work. He described specific situations and how each mind should respond. When ingredients are limited, magnanimous mind accepts without complaint. When tired at the end of a long day, joyful mind finds energy in the opportunity to serve. When preparing food for someone ill, parental mind ensures every detail receives careful attention. These concrete examples helped monks understand how to embody these attitudes in actual kitchen work. Joyful mind, kishin, gratitude in action. The joyful mind isn't about forced cheerfulness or pretending everything is wonderful. It's a genuine sense of appreciation for the opportunity to prepare food, gratitude for the ingredients available, and recognition of the privilege of nourishing others. Even when circumstances are challenging, joyful mind finds something to appreciate in the present moment. This attitude transforms cooking from burden into gift. Practicing gratitude in the kitchen can be as simple as pausing before beginning to appreciate that you have food to prepare, hands capable of preparing it, and people to share it with. Consider the journey each ingredient took to reach you. The soil, sun, and rain that nourished it, the farmers who grew it, the people who transported it. This reflection naturally generates appreciation that infuses the cooking process with positive energy. Research in positive psychology has demonstrated that gratitude practice reduces stress hormones, improves immune function, and enhances overall well-being. When you cook with genuine appreciation, these benefits extend to both you and, remarkably, the food itself. Studies examining the effects of positive versus negative emotional states during food preparation have found measurable differences in both the preparer's stress levels and the food's chemical composition. Joy literally changes what you're creating. The joyful mind also makes cooking more enjoyable, which has practical benefits. When you approach kitchen work with appreciation rather than resentment, you're more likely to do it well. You pay better attention, make wiser choices, and create more satisfying meals. This positive cycle reinforces itself. Good experiences in the kitchen generate more joy, which creates better experiences, which generates more joy. The attitude becomes self-sustaining. Parental mind. Roshan. Nurturing. This isn't limited to people who have children. It's a universal capacity for nurturing care that everyone possesses. When cooking with parental mind, you consider what will best nourish those who will eat this food. You protect them from harm by carefully inspecting ingredients and preparing food safely. You attend to their needs with genuine concern. This nurturing attitude manifests in countless small decisions throughout food preparation. Parental mind takes extra time to ensure a knife cut is safe, rather than rushing and risking injury. It washes vegetables thoroughly to remove any contaminants. It tastes as it cooks, adjusting seasonings to create the most nourishing and enjoyable result. It considers dietary needs, preferences, and restrictions, working creatively to accommodate them. Each action reflects care for those who will receive this food. The protective instinct of parental mind is particularly important in ingredient selection. Just as you wouldn't feed a child something questionable, parental mind doesn't accept substandard ingredients. It chooses the freshest, highest quality foods available within your means. It avoids highly processed items laden with additives. It reads labels and makes informed decisions. This protective care ensures that the food you prepare genuinely supports health rather than undermining it. Care in every cutting motion exemplifies parental mind in action. When you handle ingredients with the tender attention you'd give to something precious, your movements become more deliberate and precise. This care preserves the integrity of the food, maintains its nutritional value, and prevents waste. It also keeps you safe, as attentive cooking reduces accidents. The simple act of cutting vegetables with genuine care rather than distracted hurry improves outcomes in multiple ways. Magnanimous mind, Daishin, spacious acceptance. The magnanimous or great mind is perhaps the most challenging of the three to embody, yet it may be the most transformative. Daishin is the mind that accepts whatever is present without complaint or judgment. If ingredients are limited, magnanimous mind works creatively with what's available rather than lamenting what's missing. If a dish doesn't turn out as planned, magnanimous mind learns from the experience without self-criticism. This spacious acceptance eliminates much of the stress and frustration that often accompany cooking. Non-judgment of ingredients represents a key aspect of magnanimous mind. There are no good or bad ingredients in absolute terms, only different foods with different properties and appropriate uses. The magnanimous cook doesn't privilege expensive items over simple ones or declare certain foods superior to others. Instead, this mind recognizes the value in everything and finds ways to utilize each ingredient optimally. This attitude prevents the food snobbery and judgment that can make cooking stressful and exclusive. Accepting what is available requires flexibility and creativity. Perhaps you planned one meal but lack a key ingredient. Magnanimous mind adapts, substituting something else or changing the entire plan without frustration. This adaptability reduces stress dramatically and often leads to discoveries you wouldn't have made by rigidly following plans. Some of the most delicious and innovative dishes emerge from necessity and creative adaptation rather than careful planning. Creativity within constraints is where magnanimous mind truly shines. Rather than seeing limitations as problems, this attitude views them as opportunities for innovation. Limited ingredients become a challenge to be creative. Simple tools become an invitation to develop skill. Working within constraints often produces better results than having unlimited options because it forces you to pay attention, make thoughtful decisions, and work skillfully with what you have. The integration. Three minds working together. While each mind has distinct qualities, they work together synergistically in actual practice. Joyful mind generates the energy and enthusiasm to begin cooking. Parental mind provides the careful attention and nurturing intent that guides each action. Magnanimous mind offers the spacious acceptance that allows you to work skillfully with whatever arises, whether ideal conditions or unexpected challenges. Together, they create a complete approach to food preparation. The integration happens naturally when you set an intention before cooking. Simply reminding yourself of the three minds as you enter the kitchen activates them. You might say internally, I cook with joy, I cook with care, I cook with acceptance. This brief acknowledgement primes your consciousness to embody these attitudes. Over time, the intention alone is enough to shift your state, and eventually the three minds become your natural approach. Different minds may predominate at different moments. When selecting ingredients, parental mind might be strongest as you carefully evaluate quality. When adapting to missing items, magnanimous mind takes the lead. When experiencing the satisfaction of creating something nourishing, joyful mind shines through. The three aren't separate states you must maintain simultaneously, but aspects of a complete approach that naturally flow as needed. Health benefits of the three minds. Cooking with the three minds produces measurable physiological benefits, starting with reduced stress hormones. Research has shown that activities performed with positive intention and mindful attention lower cortisol levels, reduce blood pressure, and activate the parasympathetic nervous system. When you cook in a stressed, resentful state, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. When you cook with joy, care, and acceptance, your body releases oxytocin and endorphins. These hormonal differences affect not just how you feel, but your long-term health. Enhanced nutrient bioavailability through calm preparation represents another fascinating benefit. When food is prepared in a stressed environment, stress hormones from the cook can actually affect the food's chemistry. Conversely, when prepared calmly and positively, certain enzymes and compounds remain more stable and bioavailable. While this might sound unusual, remember that fermentation, cooking temperature, and preparation methods all affect nutrient availability. The preparer's state is simply another variable in this complex equation. The three minds lead to better food choices and preparation methods. When you approach cooking with care and joy rather than obligation and hurry, you naturally make more thoughtful decisions. You choose whole foods over processed convenience items, You take time to prepare vegetables properly rather than taking shortcuts that reduce nutrition. You cook in ways that preserve nutrients rather than destroying them. The consciousness you bring shapes hundreds of small decisions that collectively determine food quality. Perhaps most importantly, meals prepared with the three minds support better digestion in those who eat them. When people consume food prepared with positive intention and care, they tend to eat more mindfully, chew more thoroughly, and feel greater satisfaction. The meal feels nourishing at a level beyond mere nutrition. While some of this is psychological, psychology and physiology aren't separate. How we experience food affects how our bodies process it. Rule number 6, the silent preparation. The teaching, minimal talking, maximum awareness. In Zen monastery kitchens, food preparation happens in near complete silence. This isn't a rigid rule enforced through discipline, but a natural practice that emerges from understanding. When monks cook, they minimize conversation, turn off unnecessary sounds, and create an atmosphere of quiet focus. This silence isn't empty or oppressive, it's full and alive with the sounds of the work itself: water flowing, knives cutting, pots simmering, vegetables sizzling. The silence makes space for total awareness of the present moment. Most modern kitchens operate in the opposite way. Televisions blare news or entertainment. Music plays loudly. People talk constantly, often about topics unrelated to the cooking. Phones buzz with notifications. This constant noise creates distraction and stress even when we don't consciously notice it. Our nervous systems remain activated, our attention fragments across multiple inputs, and we disconnect from the actual experience of preparing food. The result is cooking that feels like a chore rather than a practice. The teaching of silent preparation invites us to reclaim cooking as a meditative activity. When external noise is minimized, attention naturally focuses on the work at hand. You hear the rhythm of your knife, notice subtle changes in cooking sounds, and remain present with the transformation happening before you. This focused awareness makes cooking safer, more enjoyable, and more effective. The food itself benefits from your complete attention, and you benefit from the calming effects of focused, mindful activity. Silent preparation doesn't mean absolute quiet in all circumstances. If you're cooking with others, some communication is necessary and appropriate. The principle is minimizing unnecessary talk and distraction, rather than enforcing rigid silence. Even brief exchanges can be mindful and focused when they serve the cooking process. The key is distinguishing between helpful communication and mere distraction or nervous chatter that pulls you away from presence. Moving Zen. Meditation in action. Zen practitioners speak of bringing meditation into every activity, not limiting practice to formal sitting. Cooking becomes moving Zen when approached with the same quality of attention brought to meditation. Your breath remains steady, your mind stays focused, and awareness encompasses both the task and the larger experience. Each movement becomes deliberate rather than automatic. Each action receives your complete attention rather than being performed while thinking about something else. This approach transforms cooking from a mundane necessity into a valuable practice that cultivates presence, patience, and skill. The repetitive actions, chopping vegetables, stirring pots, washing dishes, become opportunities for meditation rather than boring tasks to rush through. The kitchen becomes a training ground for awareness that extends into all areas of life. Skills developed while cooking mindfully, focus, patience, careful attention, serve you everywhere. Moving Zen in the kitchen requires starting with clear intention. Before beginning to cook, take a moment to settle yourself. Notice your breath, feel your body, and consciously choose to bring full awareness to the activity ahead. This brief pause marks a transition from other activities into cooking practice. Without this intentional beginning, cooking easily becomes just another distracted, rushed activity rather than a meditative practice. Throughout cooking, return your attention to the present whenever you notice it has wandered. This is exactly what you do in formal meditation when thoughts arise. You notice them and return to your breath or chosen focus point. In cooking, the focus points are the sensations, sounds, and visual experiences of food preparation. Notice when your mind has drifted to other concerns, acknowledge this without judgment, and gently return your attention to what's immediately before you. The sensory experience of mindful cooking silent preparation creates space to fully experience the rich sensory world of cooking. The sound of a knife cutting through vegetables provides immediate feedback about technique. A sharp knife moving through a crisp carrot produces a clean, satisfying sound. A dull knife crushing through creates a very different sound, signaling the need for sharpening. These subtle audio cues guide you toward better technique when you're quiet enough to hear them clearly. The rhythm and precision of repetitive cutting becomes almost musical when you're fully present. Each cut flows into the next with a steady cadence. Your breath synchronizes with the movement. This rhythmic quality is meditative and satisfying in itself, separate from the practical outcome of prepared vegetables. Many monks report that time spent cutting vegetables becomes one of their favorite practices, a moving meditation that settles the mind while accomplishing necessary work. The smell of steam carries crucial information about cooking progress. When you're silent and attentive, you notice the first hints of aroma as food begins releasing its fragrance. You distinguish between the sharp smell of food just beginning to cook and the deeper, mellower smell of something nearly done. These olfactory signals guide timing more reliably than watching a clock, allowing you to respond to what's actually happening rather than following rigid timelines that may not match your specific ingredients or conditions. Texture changes provide another rich source of information. When kneading dough, you feel it transform from shaggy and rough to smooth and elastic. When stirring a sauce, you sense it thickening through increasing resistance against your spoon. These tactile experiences communicate directly with your hands, bypassing verbal thought. Silent, attentive cooking lets these physical conversations happen, guiding you toward optimal results through direct sensory feedback rather than abstract instructions. Visual transformations in food offer constant beauty and information. Vegetables brighten as they hit hot oil. Onions slowly caramelize from white to golden to deep brown. Rice absorbs water and swells. These changes are endlessly fascinating when you're present to witness them. They also signal cooking progress and doneness. The visual information available to attentive cooks far exceeds what recipes can describe, allowing intuitive adjustments that produce superior results. Why silence matters. Neurological benefits. Neuroscience research has revealed that silence has profound effects on brain function and stress response. Studies using brain imaging show that periods of silence allow the brain to shift into different operating modes, particularly activating the default mode network associated with reflection, integration, and restoration. Just 2 minutes of silence can reduce blood pressure and heart rate more effectively than listening to relaxing music. The brain interprets silence as a respite, allowing beneficial recovery processes to activate. Constant noise, even at moderate volumes, keeps the nervous system in a state of low-level activation. The brain continuously processes auditory information, dividing attention and preventing deep focus. This background activation contributes to chronic stress even when we've adapted to the noise and no longer consciously notice it. Creating silence during cooking gives your nervous system a break from this constant processing, allowing deeper relaxation and better cognitive function. The focused awareness that arises in silence engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for executive function, planning, and self-regulation. This engagement strengthens these neural pathways over time, improving your capacity for focus and self-control in all areas of life. Silent cooking practice is literally brain training, strengthening cognitive abilities through repeated practice of sustained, focused attention. Health benefits of silent preparation. Cortisol reduction through silence represents one of the most significant health benefits of this practice. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, affects virtually every system in your body. Chronically elevated cortisol contributes to weight gain, digestive problems, immune suppression, sleep disruption, and numerous other health issues. Activities performed in silence, particularly repetitive, focused activities like cooking, lower cortisol levels measurably. This reduction benefits your health immediately and cumulatively over time. Improved focus during cooking directly enhances safety. Most kitchen accidents happen during moments of distraction, when you're talking, listening to something, or thinking about other matters while using sharp knives or hot surfaces. Accidents become likely. Silent, focused preparation keeps your attention where it needs to be, dramatically reducing injury risk. This safety benefit alone justifies the practice for many people, particularly as they notice how much more controlled and precise their movements become. Enhanced taste perception following silent preparation represents a less obvious but significant benefit. When you cook in a stressed, distracted state, your body remains in sympathetic nervous system activation, which suppresses digestive functions, including taste sensitivity. When you cook calmly and silently, the parasympathetic system engages, enhancing all digestive functions. Food tastes better not just because it's prepared more carefully, but because your body is in a state that allows fuller taste perception. Better digestion through pre-meal calm extends this benefit. The state you're in while cooking often continues into eating. If cooking stressed you, that stress affects how you eat and digest. If cooking calmed you, you bring that calm to the meal. Many digestive problems stem not from food itself, but from eating in stressed states. Silent preparation naturally creates the calm state that supports optimal digestion, preventing problems before they begin. Rule number 7, avoid the 5 pungent roots. Among all the Zen kitchen rules, this one generates the most debate and confusion. Traditional Zen monasteries avoid 5 pungent vegetables: garlic, onions, chives, leeks, and shallots. These allium family vegetables, staples in most world cuisines, are conspicuously absent from monastery kitchens. For many modern people, especially those familiar with the proven health benefits of these vegetables, this restriction seems counterintuitive or even unscientific. Yet understanding the reasoning behind this practice reveals important insights about food's effects beyond basic nutrition. This restriction isn't unique to Zen Buddhism. It appears in various contemplative traditions across Asia, suggesting ancient practitioners observed something significant about these vegetables. Whether you choose to follow this guideline or not, exploring the reasoning expands your understanding of how different foods affect consciousness, energy, and well-being. The principle isn't about rigid rules, but about cultivating awareness of how what you eat influences your entire state of being. It's important to note that many modern Buddhist practitioners, including some monks, don't follow this restriction strictly or at all. The guideline represents traditional monastery practice rather than universal Buddhist law. Our exploration here aims to understand the reasoning and potential benefits while maintaining a balanced, non-dogmatic perspective. You can learn from this principle without necessarily adopting it completely. Traditional teachings describe these vegetables as overstimulating to the nervous system and mind. The theory holds that their pungent compounds, particularly sulfur-containing molecules, create heating and agitating effects in the body. This stimulation manifests as increased mental activity, stronger emotional reactions, and heightened physical energy. For monks seeking inner quiet and emotional equilibrium, these effects work against their goals. According to monastery teachings, regular consumption of these vegetables increases aggressive tendencies and anger. The stimulating properties make practitioners more reactive and less patient. While this might benefit someone needing more assertiveness or energy, it undermines the cultivation of equanimity and calm that meditation requires. The vegetables aren't inherently bad, they're simply incompatible with specific contemplative goals. Traditional texts also claim these vegetables stimulate desire, particularly sexual desire. For monks practicing celibacy, avoiding foods that increase these urges serves practical purposes. Even for lay practitioners not bound by celibacy vows, reducing unnecessary stimulation of desire helps maintain focus and contentment. Again, the principle isn't moral judgment but practical observation about how different foods affect consciousness. The distraction from meditation represents perhaps the most relevant concern for contemplative practitioners. Many monks report that after consuming these vegetables, their minds become more restless during sitting practice. Thoughts proliferate more readily, concentration wavers more easily, and achieving deep stillness becomes more difficult. For people dedicating hours daily to meditation, even subtle effects on practice quality matter significantly. Breath impurity affecting group practices provides a practical consideration. In monasteries where monks sit closely together for meditation and chant together for ceremonies, the strong odors from these vegetables can be genuinely distracting. This consideration, while less spiritual than the others, represents real pragmatic reasoning that supports the restriction in communal settings. Health benefits of limitation. A nuanced view. For people with sensitive digestive systems, limiting or avoiding these vegetables can provide real relief. Alliums contain FODMAPs, fermentable carbohydrates that cause gas, bloating, and discomfort in many people. Those with irritable bowel syndrome or similar conditions often find significant improvement when reducing these vegetables. The traditional restriction inadvertently benefits digestive health for sensitive individuals. Enhanced palate sensitivity represents an unexpected benefit of avoiding pungent vegetables. When your diet doesn't include these strong flavors regularly, you develop greater sensitivity to subtle tastes. Delicate flavors in vegetables, grains, and broths become more perceptible. This heightened taste sensitivity makes simple foods more satisfying and interesting, supporting healthier eating patterns overall. Learning alternative flavoring techniques expands culinary skills significantly. When you can't rely on garlic and onions for flavor, you discover countless other ways to create depth and satisfaction. This challenge stimulates creativity and knowledge, ultimately making you a more versatile cook. The limitation becomes an opportunity for growth rather than a restriction. However, potential drawbacks of complete avoidance deserve acknowledgement. Missing out on proven health benefits from these vegetables represents a real cost, particularly for people not engaged in intensive meditation practice where the mental effects matter significantly. For most modern people, the nutritional benefits likely outweigh the energetic concerns that matter primarily in contemplative contexts. The middle path, wisdom without dogmatism. The Buddhist concept of the middle path applies perfectly here. Neither rigidly avoiding these vegetables nor consuming them without awareness represents optimal practice. Instead, conscious, intentional choice based on understanding and self-observation embodies genuine wisdom. Sometimes these vegetables serve your well-being, sometimes they don't. Discernment matters more than rules. For most modern practitioners not living in monasteries or engaged in intensive meditation retreats, the energetic concerns likely matter less than the nutritional benefits. Including these vegetables regularly, while maintaining awareness of their effects, represents a reasonable approach. For those deeply committed to contemplative practice, experimenting with reduction or temporary elimination might reveal genuine benefits. The deeper teaching isn't about specific vegetables, but about cultivating awareness of how all foods affect your entire being beyond mere nutrition. Every food influences consciousness, energy, and well-being in subtle ways. Developing sensitivity to these effects allows you to eat intelligently rather than automatically, supporting your actual goals and needs rather than blindly following habits or rules. Rule number 8. A day without work is a day without food. Master Hyakujo, a prominent Chinese Zen master, established a principle that revolutionized monastery life. A day without work is a day without food. This wasn't punishment or harsh discipline, but a profound teaching linking effort, nourishment, and appreciation. Monks who worked in the gardens, cleaned the monastery, prepared meals, or performed other necessary labor earned their food through this contribution. This created a direct connection between effort and sustenance that's largely disappeared in modern life. The principle challenged the earlier Buddhist model, where monks relied entirely on donations and didn't engage in productive labor. Hyakujo recognized that self-sufficiency through work created healthier communities, reduced dependency, and cultivated valuable qualities in practitioners. Physical labor became spiritual practice rather than a distraction from it. This integration of work and practice characterizes Zen distinctively. This teaching addresses something crucial that modern life has lost: the felt sense of earning nourishment through physical effort. When food arrives through minimal physical exertion, just driving to a store or clicking buttons online, we lose the deep satisfaction and gratitude that come from directly working for sustenance. This disconnection contributes to numerous problems, from overeating to lack of appreciation to metabolic dysfunction. Reconnecting work and eating offers profound benefits. Historical context: the working monastery. Before Hyakujo's reforms, Chinese Buddhist monasteries followed Indian models, where monks begged for food and devoted themselves entirely to study and meditation. This created dependency on lay community support and sometimes fostered attitudes of entitlement or superiority. Monks saw physical labor as beneath their spiritual calling, creating hierarchies and divisions that undermined practice. Hyakujo transformed this completely by establishing that all monks, regardless of seniority, would engage in daily physical labor. He famously continued working in the gardens well into old age. When younger monks tried to stop him out of concern for his health, he reportedly refused to eat until they returned his tools. His actions demonstrated that physical work wasn't inferior to meditation, but essential to complete practice. This model created self-sufficient monasteries where communities grew their own food, maintained their own buildings, and supported themselves through their labor. The direct connection between work and sustenance generated profound teachings that went far beyond mere economics. Monks experienced directly how effort produces results, how community cooperation creates abundance, and how physical labor grounds and focuses the mind. The daily monastery rhythm. A typical monastery day begins before dawn with meditation. After morning practice, monks engage in physical labor. Some work in gardens, planting, weeding, harvesting. Others clean buildings, repair structures, or prepare firewood. Still others work in the kitchen preparing the midday meal. This morning work period lasts several hours, generating genuine physical effort and accomplishment. The midday meal arrives after this morning labor period. Monks sit together to eat food they've collectively helped produce or prepare. The meal is substantial, providing energy for the afternoon ahead. Yet it's consumed with complete attention and gratitude, each bite appreciated as the fruit of effort. This direct connection between work done and food consumed creates satisfaction impossible to achieve when food appears with minimal effort. Afternoon activities continue the work rhythm. More garden labor, building maintenance, or food preservation, depending on seasonal needs and monastery requirements. This work isn't rushed or stressed, but maintains steady, focused effort. The combination of physical activity, fresh air, and productive accomplishment creates genuine tiredness rather than the exhausted depletion that comes from sedentary modern work. The evening meal is lighter, often simple soup or leftover grains from midday. This lighter evening eating aligns with natural rhythms and supports better sleep. The day concludes with evening meditation, the body pleasantly tired from physical effort, the mind settled from productive work, and the stomach neither empty nor overfull. This rhythm creates optimal conditions for both physical health and mental clarity. Earning versus entitlement. The psychological shift from entitlement to earning transforms one's relationship with food completely. In modern life, food feels like a right or expectation. We get hungry, we eat, with minimal connection to how that food arrived. This disconnection breeds lack of appreciation, overconsumption, and dissatisfaction. When eating feels automatic rather than earned, food provides less genuine satisfaction. When you've physically worked before eating, the meal tastes better objectively. Hunger developed through genuine physical activity creates authentic appetite rather than boredom or emotional eating. The food satisfies this real physical need, producing deep contentment. Additionally, knowing your effort contributed to this meal, whether through growing ingredients, preparing them, or earning money through meaningful work, creates appreciation impossible to access otherwise. This principle challenges modern convenience culture fundamentally. We've designed systems to minimize physical effort required for survival, considering this progress. Yet in eliminating the need for physical work, we've also eliminated benefits that came with it. Natural appetite regulation, genuine tiredness leading to good sleep, satisfaction from productivity, and appreciation for life's basics. The monastery model suggests some inconveniences might actually serve well-being better than complete convenience does. Gratitude amplification through effort. Food genuinely tastes better when earned through effort. This isn't merely psychological, though psychology certainly plays a role. Physical activity primes the digestive system for optimal function. It increases saliva production, stimulates digestive enzyme release, and enhances nutrient absorption. Your body is literally prepared to extract maximum nourishment from food consumed after genuine physical exertion. The gratitude that arises naturally after physical work before eating goes deeper than intellectual appreciation. It's felt gratitude, visceral recognition of nourishment as gift rather than entitlement. This quality of thanksgiving before meals, something many traditions practice, becomes authentic and effortless when you've worked with your body before eating. The ritual gains meaning it lacks when performed by rote. Research on reward circuits in the brain helps explain why earned food feels more satisfying. When you work for something and then receive it, dopamine releases create genuine pleasure and satisfaction. This is the same mechanism that makes achievements feel good. Food obtained without effort doesn't activate these reward pathways as strongly, leading to less satisfaction despite identical nutritional content. Effort literally makes food more rewarding. Health benefits of the work-eat cycle. Natural appetite regulation through activity represents one of the most significant health benefits of linking work to eating. Physical labor creates genuine hunger, the body's appropriate signal that it needs fuel. This authentic hunger differs dramatically from the boredom eating, emotional eating, or habitual eating that plagues sedentary modern life. When you eat in response to real physical hunger, you naturally consume appropriate amounts without needing willpower or restrictive diets. Metabolic synchronization between activity and eating optimizes how your body processes food. When you eat after physical work, your muscles are primed to take up glucose and nutrients for recovery and replenishment. This reduces the likelihood of excess calories being stored as fat. The timing of eating relative to activity matters enormously for metabolic health, and the monastery rhythm naturally creates ideal timing. Insulin sensitivity improvements result from regular physical activity before meals. When muscles have recently been active, they respond more effectively to insulin, meaning your body processes carbohydrates more efficiently. This reduces blood sugar spikes, decreases insulin resistance, and protects against diabetes. The simple pattern of work then eat creates powerful metabolic benefits without requiring complex interventions. Muscle maintenance through daily labor prevents the muscle loss that accompanies aging and sedentary lifestyles. The varied physical tasks in monastery work, lifting, carrying, digging, building, provide functional strength training that maintains lean muscle mass. This muscle supports metabolic health, physical independence, and longevity. The incidental exercise of daily productive work surpasses dedicated gym sessions for many people because it's consistent, functional, and naturally integrated into life. Mental health benefits of productivity before eating shouldn't be underestimated. Physical work that produces visible results, a planted garden, a clean space, prepared food, creates satisfaction and sense of purpose. This productive activity, combined with the reward of eating afterward, creates positive psychological patterns. Depression and anxiety often improve with regular physical activity and sense of contribution, both built into the monastery work-eat rhythm. The monastery modern life disconnect. Modern life has severed the connection between physical effort and eating almost completely. Many people's jobs involve sitting at computers all day. Food arrives with minimal physical effort, delivered to your door or grabbed from a drive-through. This convenience eliminates hunger developed through physical work, removes appreciation through effort, and disrupts natural appetite regulation that kept humans healthy for millennia. The average modern person moves dramatically less than any historical human, yet has easier access to more calorie-dense food than ever before. This mismatch between activity and food availability creates the metabolic dysfunction, obesity, and chronic disease epidemic we're experiencing. The problem isn't moral failing or lack of willpower, it's living in a way fundamentally misaligned with how human bodies evolved to function. Understanding this disconnection helps explain why diet advice alone rarely produces lasting results. The problem isn't just what or how much we eat, but the entire pattern of sedentary living followed by eating without genuine physical hunger. Reconnecting work and eating addresses root causes rather than symptoms, potentially transforming health more effectively than any diet. The holistic picture: 8 rules, 1 practice. When you step back and view all 8 rules together, something remarkable becomes clear. They're not separate techniques but interconnected practices that support and reinforce each other. Treating ingredients with reverence naturally leads to zero waste. Zero waste thinking extends to caring for tools. Proper tool care creates the foundation for balanced meals. Balanced meals are prepared with the right mind state. The right mind state flourishes in silence. Silence heightens awareness of what you're eating. And connecting work to eating completes the cycle by creating genuine hunger and appreciation. This integration explains why monks experience such profound health benefits. No single rule is magic, but the compound effect of practicing all 8 creates a complete system that addresses health from every angle. Physical nutrition, mental state, environmental factors, activity patterns, and spiritual connection all align to support optimal well-being. This holistic approach treats the whole person rather than isolating individual variables. Understanding this integration helps you implement these practices more effectively. You don't need to perfect each rule independently before moving to the next. Instead, as you work with one principle, you naturally begin incorporating others. Respecting ingredients leads you towards zero waste. Cooking mindfully makes you want to do it in silence. The practices flow together organically when you approach them with genuine intention rather than rigid discipline. The compound effect means that benefits multiply rather than simply adding up. Better food plus mindful preparation plus appropriate timing creates results beyond what each element would produce alone. This synergy explains why the simple practices of monastery kitchens produce such extraordinary health outcomes. The whole truly exceeds the sum of its parts when all elements work in harmony. Why monks don't get sick? The question we began with, why monks never get sick, now has a comprehensive answer. It's not one secret ingredient or practice, but an entire lifestyle built around principles that support health naturally. Every meal provides complete nutrition through the rule of 5. Nothing beneficial is wasted, ensuring maximum nutrient intake. Food is prepared in calm, focused states that enhance its nourishing properties. Eating follows physical activity that primes the body for optimal digestion and metabolism. These practices prevent disease rather than merely treating it. Modern medicine excels at intervention after illness develops, but the Zen kitchen approach prevents problems from arising in the first place. When your diet provides complete nutrition, when stress is managed through mindful practices, when physical activity is integrated into daily life, disease simply has fewer opportunities to take hold. Prevention proves far more effective than cure. The consistency of these practices matters enormously. Monks don't eat perfectly one week, then carelessly the next. They maintain these patterns daily, year after year, decade after decade. This consistency allows benefits to accumulate and compound over time. Small advantages multiply into extraordinary health when practiced consistently over a lifetime. Connecting modern diseases to Zen solutions, diabetes, one of modern society's most prevalent diseases, directly relates to the work-food principle's absence. When eating happens without preceding physical activity, the body's ability to process glucose diminishes. Muscles aren't primed to absorb sugar from the bloodstream. Insulin sensitivity decreases. The monastery pattern of morning work followed by eating naturally prevents this metabolic dysfunction. Physical activity before meals is perhaps the most powerful diabetes prevention strategy available. Heart disease connects directly to the rule of 5. When diets lack diversity, they often lack the full spectrum of nutrients that protect cardiovascular health. The phytonutrients in colorful vegetables, the minerals from varied whole foods, the fiber from complete vegetable utilization, all these support heart health powerfully. The balanced, diverse diet that follows naturally from the rule of 5 addresses cardiovascular disease at its roots. Digestive issues that plague millions connect to rushed, stressed eating and cooking. When food is prepared frantically and consumed anxiously, digestive systems cannot function optimally. The silent preparation practice creates the calm state necessary for proper digestion. When you eat food prepared mindfully in a peaceful environment, your body processes it more effectively. Many digestive problems aren't about the food itself, but about the state you're in while eating it. Inflammation, the underlying factor in countless chronic diseases, responds to zero-waste nutrition. The peels, stems, and parts we typically discard contain concentrated anti-inflammatory compounds. When you utilize complete vegetables rather than discarding the most nutrient-dense portions, you naturally consume more anti-inflammatory phytonutrients. The zero-waste principle inadvertently creates a powerfully anti-inflammatory diet. You don't need to be a monk. The beauty of these principles is their adaptability to modern life. You don't need to live in a monastery, meditate for hours daily, or abandon your current lifestyle completely. These practices can be integrated into regular life in ways that feel natural and sustainable rather than restrictive or overwhelming. The goal is progress, not perfection, improvement, not transformation into someone you're not. Start by recognizing that every small implementation provides real benefits. You don't need to follow all 8 rules perfectly to experience improved health. Even adopting 2 or 3 principles creates noticeable changes. Perhaps you begin with zero-waste cooking and the rule of 5. These alone significantly improve nutrition while creating new awareness around food. As these become habitual, you might add silent cooking sessions or tool care practices. Cultural and personal adaptation is not just acceptable but necessary. These rules emerged in specific contexts and should be modified to fit your life. If your culture's cuisine relies heavily on alliums, perhaps that rule doesn't apply to you. If you have young children, silent cooking might only be possible occasionally. Adapt the principles to serve your actual circumstances, rather than forcing yourself into practices that create stress or conflict. The wisdom lies in understanding the why behind each rule, then finding your own how. Why does treating ingredients carefully matter? Because it prevents waste, preserves nutrition, and cultivates mindfulness. How can you do this in your life? That depends on your specific situation. The principles are universal, the applications are personal. Starting small. Your first step. If you're wondering where to begin, start with the rule that resonates most strongly or addresses your biggest challenge. If you struggle with food waste, begin with zero-waste practices. If you find cooking stressful, focus on cultivating the 3 minds. If your diet lacks diversity, implement the rule of 5. Starting with what feels most relevant creates motivation and demonstrates quick benefits that encourage continued practice. For many people, the rule of 5 provides the most accessible entry point. Simply ensuring each meal contains 5 colors and 5 flavors requires no special equipment, radical changes, or significant time investment. It just requires attention and intention when planning and preparing meals. This single practice noticeably improves nutrition while being simple enough to implement immediately. Zero-waste cooking offers another excellent starting point because it saves money while improving health. When you use complete vegetables and create broth from scraps, you extract more value from every food purchase. The financial benefit provides immediate positive feedback that reinforces the practice. As you become more skilled at utilizing everything, you discover creative satisfaction alongside practical advantages. The three minds practice transforms your experience of cooking regardless of what you're preparing. Even if you don't change your recipes or ingredients at all, bringing joy, care, and acceptance to the process reduces stress and increases satisfaction. This psychological shift often motivates other changes naturally. When cooking becomes more enjoyable, you're more likely to do it well and often. The 30-Day Zen Kitchen Challenge. Consider committing to a focused 30-day experiment with these principles. Choose 3 rules that appeal to you and practice them consistently for 1 month. This duration allows habits to form while being short enough to feel achievable. During this month, keep a simple journal noting what you practice and how you feel. The self-awareness this creates helps you understand which practices serve you most. Week 1 focuses on implementation and learning. You're discovering what each practice involves and how to integrate it into your routine. Mistakes and imperfection are expected and normal. The goal is simply to begin, not to do everything perfectly. Allow yourself to learn through experience, rather than demanding immediate mastery. Week 2 often brings challenges as the novelty wears off. This is when commitment matters most. Push through initial resistance, remembering why you started this experiment. The benefits may not be fully apparent yet, but continuing the practice allows them to develop. This week builds the consistency that creates lasting change. Week 3 typically shows noticeable results. You feel differently, your relationship with food has shifted, and the practices feel more natural. This week provides motivation to continue as you directly experience the benefits. Pay attention to specific improvements: better energy, improved digestion, reduced stress, whatever changes you notice. Week 4 consolidates the practices into habits. By now, they require less conscious effort and feel more integrated into your natural routine. As the month concludes, reflect on what worked, what didn't, and how you want to continue. Some practices may have become permanent, others might need modification, and perhaps some didn't fit your life. This honest assessment guides your ongoing journey. Let's quickly review the 8 hidden rules that keep monks remarkably healthy. First, treat every ingredient like your own eyes, handling all food with careful respect. Second, waste nothing, finding value and use in every part of every ingredient. Third, see your cooking tools as extensions of yourself, maintaining them with the same care you give your body. Fourth, follow the rule of 5, ensuring each meal contains 5 colors and 5 flavors for complete nutrition. Fifth, cook with the 3 minds, bringing joy, parental care, and magnanimous acceptance to food preparation. Sixth, practice silent preparation, creating space for awareness and reducing stress. Seventh, consider restrictions thoughtfully, understanding how different foods affect your entire being beyond basic nutrition. Eighth, connect eating to effort, ensuring physical activity precedes meals to create genuine hunger and gratitude. These 8 practices work together to create a complete approach to food and health. They address what you eat, how you prepare it, the state you're in while cooking, and your relationship with nourishment. This comprehensive system explains why such simple practices produce such extraordinary health outcomes. You've now discovered ancient wisdom that most people never encounter. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? We invite you to try even one rule for just 1 week. Choose whichever resonates most strongly. Commit to practicing it consistently for 7 days, then honestly assess the results. This small experiment costs nothing but might transform everything. Don't overthink or wait for perfect conditions. Start today with your next meal. If the rule of 5 spoke to you, make your next meal include 5 colors. If zero waste inspired you, save your vegetable scraps instead of discarding them. If silent preparation intrigued you, cook your next meal without background noise. The perfect time to begin is always now, imperfectly but intentionally. Take a moment to consider, which rule resonated most deeply with you? What about it spoke to your situation or needs? This resonance often indicates where you have the most to gain. The teaching that creates the strongest response, whether excitement or resistance, frequently offers your greatest growth opportunity. What is your current relationship with food? Do you cook with joy or obligation? Do you eat with gratitude or distraction? Do you see food as fuel, comfort, entertainment, or medicine? Understanding your starting point helps you recognize change as it happens. Honest assessment without judgment creates the foundation for meaningful transformation. What small change can you make today, right now, with your very next meal? Don't wait for Monday or next month. Don't plan elaborate changes requiring new equipment or ingredients. What simple adjustment could you implement immediately? Perhaps eating without screens, saving food scraps you'd normally discard, or taking 3 breaths before cooking to set intention. Start there. There's a Zen story about a student who asked his teacher, "What is the most important practice?" The teacher replied, "When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you work, just work." The student, confused, said, "But everyone does that. What's special about it?" The teacher smiled and responded, "No, almost no one does that. People eat while thinking about work. They walk while planning tomorrow. They work while regretting yesterday. To just eat, to be completely present with the experience of nourishment, this is the most difficult and most important practice." This teaching captures the essence of everything we've explored. These rules aren't ultimately about food at all. They're about presence, intention, and living consciously rather than automatically. The kitchen becomes a training ground for awareness that extends into every area of life. When you can be fully present while chopping vegetables, you can be fully present anywhere. When you treat ingredients with reverence, you treat everything with reverence. The practice transforms far more than your diet. Take action now. If this exploration has provided value, if you've discovered insights that could improve your life or health, we ask you to take 3 simple actions right now. First, subscribe to our Wisdom in Real Life channel so you continue receiving practical ancient wisdom adapted for modern living. We regularly share teachings like this that bridge timeless practices with contemporary needs. Second, comment below and tell us which rule you're going to try first. Your commitment, shared publicly, increases the likelihood you'll actually implement it. Plus, reading others' experiences creates community and mutual support. Let us know where you're watching from and which principle resonated most strongly. We read every comment and learn from your insights and questions. Third, share this video with someone who needs it. You probably know someone struggling with health issues, feeling overwhelmed by conflicting nutrition advice, or simply seeking a better relationship with food. This wisdom could genuinely help them. Sharing valuable knowledge is itself a form of generosity and service. Help us spread these teachings to create a healthier, more conscious community. Gratitude and closing. Thank you for investing this time in learning about the Zen kitchen and its hidden rules. Your attention and openness to ancient wisdom demonstrates the curiosity and commitment that creates genuine transformation. We're honored to share these teachings with you and grateful you chose to explore them deeply rather than seeking quick fixes or superficial answers. Remember, the journey toward better health doesn't require perfection or dramatic changes. It requires consistent small steps in the right direction, attention to what you're doing and why, and patience with yourself as you learn and grow. The monks who never get sick didn't become healthy overnight. They built robust wellness through daily practices maintained over decades. You're beginning that same journey today. The path forward is clear. Choose one rule, practice it consistently, observe the results, and gradually integrate more as you're ready. Trust the process, trust the wisdom tested over centuries, and trust yourself to know what serves your unique needs and circumstances. The kitchen awaits, transformed from mundane necessity into sacred space for nourishment, healing, and practice. May your food nourish you completely. May your cooking become meditation. May your meals bring health, joy, and connection. And may the wisdom of the Zen kitchen support your journey toward the vibrant, balanced life you deserve. Until next time, cook with awareness, eat with gratitude, and live with intention. Authentic sources used Tenzo Kyokun, Instructions for the Cook. Primary text by Rihei Dogen, 1237. Shojin Ryori Guidelines. Traditional Zen Buddhist temple cuisine standards. The Chanyuan Chingui, the oldest surviving code of Zen monastic regulations, 1103. Healthline, NIH. Nutritional and psychological analysis of mindful eating habits. Would you like me to draft a full-length video script based on these 8 rules?